Hi, friend. Vanessa Chavez here from Butterfly Bliss Coaching with the How Life Coaching Helps workshop. Okay, this workshop highlights the how life coaching helps the Butterfly Bliss way. Okay, it's my signature style, so it's unique to Butterfly Bliss Coaching. It's where life coaching meets you with faith, with grace and in a safe space. Okay, I support you through breakthrough because I keep it real, I keep it relatable, and I keep it rooted in your growth. I truly meet you where you are. Your journey truly matters to me. I'm grateful for your time here today, that you're reaching out for resources and support because I personally am here to encourage you along your journey. And while you're out there navigating, make sure that you take advantage of all the support that you can as often as you can, because a drop of support turns into waves of encouragement. Okay, so we're gonna go through the How Life Coaching Helps workshop. It's the art and science of awakening potential. It truly is. And we're going to cover a lot of powerful material here today. But before we dive in, I just want to take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. Don't downplay that opportunity for a deep breath, especially in heated moments. It brings oxygen to your brain. It improves your response. If you want to take a couple more while I continue to talk, I invite you to do so. That helps because the next thing I want you to do is to let go of everything, whatever you have brought in from the day. I want you to be fully present in this moment. You're going to absorb better. Um, and this is some great material here. So let's get started with what you'll learn today. So let's talk about what we're diving into. We're going to start with the four core elements to life coaching. I truly see these as the heart cores of this work because they're not just ideas, they are living principles that shape how we think, how we feel, and how we move through life. Okay, of course, there are other elements, concepts, and pillars that go in to life coaching. Um, but here today, we'll break down some of the concepts and pillars behind these specifically, how each one connects to your mental health, your spiritual and emotional health, because everything about life coaching really ties into how aligned and aware you are in these core areas that we're going to cover. Okay, we're also going to walk through some tools that you can apply right now, things that you can actually do to bring some clarity, some calm, and purpose into your daily life. Finally, we'll explore how life coaching restores clarity and direction, that feeling of getting back in the rhythm with yourself and with God's plan for you, so that the your sense of joy is just at the forefront of your morning, and you can begin to feel excited about life again. Okay, so as we move through this, stay open, take notes, let this speak to you in whatever way it needs to. Sometimes it's not so much what's said, it's what your spirit feels or responds to when you hear something. Okay, so pay attention to those moments. Okay, so starting with the four core elements, the core, the center of where it all starts is in your awareness. Because the minute awareness pretty much uncovers the point that you're missing. Um, when you can see clearly, it it's the first step to rising higher. You can't shift what you don't see, right? And another thing to remember is sometimes awareness isn't about adding more. Sometimes we think, oh, I must not be doing this or I must not be doing that. No, sometimes it's that you're not noticing what's already there, okay? That untapped potential. Um, it's that moment when the light turns on and something just clicks and you realize and you're like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, that's awareness. And so that's the starting point of change. What follows? Your alignment. Then comes your alignment. When your values, your vision, and your voice unite, clarity leads the way. Okay, so when your values, your vision, and your voice, okay, when you say what you mean and you mean what you say, clarity will lead the way. Okay, it's when what you say, what you believe, and what you do, when all of those things are moving in the same direction. When that happens, your life begins to feel lighter. You're starting to walk in rhythm. Okay, you're not fighting with yourself anymore. You're not blaming God anymore. We typically blame God because things are outside of our own personal expectations. Trust me, I'm guilty of this. I know we all want things to work out when we think they should work out, but He has purpose for everything. Okay, so just knowing that what you say and what you believe in and what you are putting your hands to work in, once all of those things are in alignment, okay, your peace will start to flow again. Okay, so stick with me. The next step, we move into accountability. Accountability is where growth really takes root. I mean, that's where it's at because that accountability factor is the game changer. Okay. It's where your honesty meets your consistency. It's when you stop making promises to yourself that just fade away and you actually start to keep them. Okay, because and honestly, please don't make promises to other people if you're not good at keeping promises to yourself. Start by keeping promises to yourself, and then you can outsource them. But promises are tough, guys. Promises are tough. The next thing, accountability isn't punishment. So that right there, what that looks like is, hey friend, will you be my accountability partner? Yes, I will be. And your friend calls you, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this. And you know, that's what that punishment is going to look like because it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to respond to it well because somebody's holding you accountable. But here's the key, remember the fact that it's a partnership and it's what keeps your progress steady when your motivation is going to be prone to dip. Okay? Finally, is your action. This is faith with motion. Okay, if you're not a person of faith, this is your involvement. Okay? When you start to take the next right steps, when your steps are structured, even if they're small, it gives momentum to what you're doing, okay? Because eventually when you maintain consistency, that you begin to see your goals start to turn into bigger goals and next level up, your leveling up goals, right? um, Make sure that you uh, because faith without action, let's put it this way, is pretty much just a wish. But your faith with action is breakthrough waiting to happen. Okay, so let's get started here. Before we do, I want to just take a quick second here, introduce you to your coach, the voice behind the mic here. My name is Vanessa Chavez. I am a certified life and relationship coach. I do speak Spanish. Hi, hola. If you do need to partner with somebody who can speak Spanish, um, I won't digress for the sake of keeping us on track with the workshop here today. So I will continue to introduce myself so that we stay on track. I am a faith-led, forward-thinking, very passionate, very dedicated, very focused individual on helping others rediscover their clarity, their direction, their peace, primarily through the Ache for Life model. That's another workshop that we'll be rolling out here very soon. But Ache for Life introduces awareness, involvement, and knowing in a very uh, easy to adopt methodology. Okay, its emphasis is a living practice of becoming aware, involved, and knowing what God is doing in and through your life. Okay, but again, another workshop for another time. Look forward to that. I'm excited. I'm putting together the material for it, and truly passionate about bringing that uh, sharing that workshop here very soon. So, anyway, back to what I was sharing originally. So, I discovered life coaching, and when I first came across it, I knew it was going to be more than a career path for me. I truly feel it as my calling. Because it showed me how people, myself included, can grow through some of the hardest of seasons and still rise stronger and still and even more grounded and even more faithful. Okay, it's taught me that human growth isn't just about success. It's about your resilience. It's about your grace. It's about your self love. It's about learning how God shows up in everyday life, even when we don't feel like it, even when we feel like we don't see Him. Okay, in this workshop, we're going to explore both sides of what makes life coaching so powerful. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, it's an art and a science. So the art is in the heart. Okay, it's in the intuition, it's in the spirit, in the connection to purpose. Okay, the science is in the structure. Okay, the tools that I put together, the mindset. Um, that helps turn awareness into real lasting change. Okay. So as we go through today, my hope is that you not only learn something new, but that you feel something shift. Maybe a sense of clarity, peace, even possibility beginning to rise inside of you, something that is speaking to you. I don't know, but just know that this isn't about fixing you. I don't fix people. This isn't, nobody needs fixing. Okay, this is about awakening, healing, tapping into what's already inside of you. Okay, I have a 30-year career in accounting, so when I educate on the heavy. And so I really uh, go deep into learning what it is that I'm speaking to people about. Okay, so let's get started here today. What you'll need. Okay, you're going to need an open heart, a pen and a notepad, willingness to reflect, a readiness to see yourself. Okay. Um, these are truly all you're going to need. A favorite drink and be prepared to allow this to pour into you. Okay, especially if you're in a season of healing or confusion. Okay, so we're going to start with the number one core, the awareness. Um, because awareness again is your starting point. Okay, it's illumination, not judgment. Awareness is the light that reveals what's in the way and what's on the way. Okay, because what's on the way is through your vision, through your goals, through where you aspire, or what your journey is is where it's at right now. Okay? Awareness is both self-honesty and divine revelation. Because when we allow God's guidance and His Spirit and His energy to show us His truth, clarity is going to follow right behind that. Okay, when we lean into Him and we ask Him, make me aware or help me become aware, um, He's there. He's there to respond. Okay, so what are the concepts now that you need to have or that you need to be aware of in order to tap into your awareness? Okay, first is your revelation. Okay, because this is where awareness brings light to some blind spots. Um, when you know you should be doing better by eating less potato chips or less soda, okay? That's revelation. That's the Spirit of God telling you you need to start drinking more water. Okay, this is just a very neutral example. And then the next is in reflection. When you start to really reflect on that, that awareness from the revelation, because it acts like a mirror between truth and self perception. Okay, it's not always comfortable. Mirrors don't lie, though, and we know that they're necessary because when you honestly reflect, you start to understand the patterns, the choices, and the beliefs that have shaped your predicament, your life. Okay, and they will continue to shape your life. Okay, so reflection is powerful. It's not living in the past. Take reflection, use it for what it's necessary, and then utilize it to move on. Don't stay there, don't reside there. Okay, next is then we have clarity. You can't change what you don't see, right? So awareness isn't just knowing, it's understanding in a way that allows you to take action. So clarity clears the fog and it shows you what needs your attention. Okay, finally, discovery. Ask yourself, what am I ignoring? What am I avoiding? Or what do I need to see differently? Because these affect your ability to focus. The ignoring of things, the avoiding of things, these avoid your focus because majority of the time you know what they are. Okay. Your discovery is also the curious part. It's the brave part of your awareness because you may uncover something that you don't want to deal with or that you have been suppressing. Or maybe, check this out, there are new possibilities. You have discovered um, a, a different way, or you just found a unique approach to something. Okay, all of that exists inside your discovery. It's about stepping into what's real, even when it's uncomfortable. Okay, and being willing to learn and grow from it. The key there is willing, because if you don't um, take and apply these concepts, broken patterns are going to persist. When people ask you how's it going, and the dialogue is something like same old, or nothing changes, remember that you control those things, the broken patterns, the same old. You're in control of those things. Okay, through your awareness. So now that we've discovered that first step, what comes up next was the alignment. Okay, bridging who you are with who you're becoming. Okay, so when you believe, um, when what you believe and what you do, when what you believe and what you do walk hand in hand, a weight begins to lift. When what you believe and what you do walk hand in hand, a weight begins to lift. It truly does. Um, because alignment creates inner peace. It's what gives birth to peace. Confusion begins to fade when your choices match truth. Okay, because true success isn't in hustle, and I understand we all have to navigate there. um I've been there. I've had to I my little side hustle was doing Benicia's bling shop, but eventually it becomes an there's something not real about it. There's something still lacking. Okay, so true true success is when there's harmony between your purpose and your motion. Okay, between your purpose and your actions. When spirit, mind, and movement unite, clarity becomes effortless. It really does. Okay, so I encourage you, where in your life do your actions and your values feel out of sync? Okay, now this is just a practical example that they give us. So it's saying, it's as if you were to tell one friend over here, I don't lie, and then you turn to another friend on another day in another circumstance and you say a lie. Okay, so that's kind of what that looks like. Okay, on the spiritual side, it's about allowing God's will to flow through your own. Okay, because it's not forcing outcomes. Alignment is allowing God to tune your life. Because when everything is in tune, we know this through musical instruments. So envision your life as a musical instrument. And when everything is in tune, everything just sounds and feels right, right? Because if you have no alignment, then you've better prepared to no agitation. So let me tell you what agitation looks like. It looks restless. It looks angry. It looks tense. It looks confused. It looks irritable. It looks hopeless. Are some of these words sounding familiar? Mm-hmm. They do. So honestly, just continue with the workshop here, take lots of notes, because we're going to tie everything together. Okay, because next up comes the accountability. Okay, your accountability builds self trust, it builds trust in others. It reminds you that you can count on yourself. If you're having to be your own accountability partner, like I've had, then it teaches you that you can trust on yourself, you can count on yourself, you can trust your instincts, right? Okay. So what are the pillars of accounting? What are the main things, the meat and potatoes of what you need? We already learned what they were for the previous two. Now we're at accountability. So what do we need in order to maintain good accountability? Self-discipline. Doing what must be done even when you don't feel like it. I'm telling you, if I wouldn't have been working all this time that that it feels like God has just placed this freedom of time on my hands, I have actually assigned myself a schedule. Like my funnest movie to watch is Dances with Wolves because Kevin Costner assigns himself a schedule, and I'm just like, that is just so brilliant. So um, I am that type of person. So I have truly, this self discipline will help you move your own mountains. I'm here as a living testimony to that. Okay. Your discipline builds freedom, not restriction. It keeps you on track. Again, I testify to all of this. Ownership, no blaming. No more blaming anything. Okay. Oh, I'm this, or, life hasn't, blah, blah, blah. Nope. Focus on growth. Okay, no more blaming, only growth. Okay, this is where you're at today. Own it, and it's time to move on. Okay, you can't change what you don't claim. Claim where you're at right now. Um, your choices, your decisions, everything, and just be real with it. Be real with it. You will thank yourself in the long run. Again, you can't change what you don't claim. Okay, feedback. Learning from reflection is excellent. It's not criticism, and definitely get it from somebody that's unbiased because it'll grow you a lot faster. Okay, feedback is a mirror for improvement. It's not a measure of your failure. It helps you detect and know how to polish things up. Nothing starts out perfect. Nothing. Everything has room for improvement. Okay, so that feedback to me, I am um, heavy on the feedback. I ask all of my clients. I have a feedback page. That was one of the first things. That's one of the first things I always go after. Were you happy? Um, did everything look right? Did you receive everything? Okay. What's up next? Your consistency. Oh man, that's a game changer. Watch my the why behind our goals and learn how consistency. That is where it's at because progress isn't speed. Okay, it's not about doing things fast at all. It's about steady commitment. Tiny steps taken daily will outrun any massive steps that you take occasionally. Okay? Because when you try and take big steps every 3 months, you have to refamiliarize yourself. Okay, so tiny steps taken daily outrun massive steps taken occasionally. Okay, so stay consistent. Do it for yourself. Um, identify one area where your accountability could reignite your progress. You know, what is something that you've been focused on, or what is it that brought you here into this workshop today? Okay, because accountability, I will tell you, um, is where growth ignites. And the number one enemy to your goals is inconsistency. Okay, it sabotages your goals hard. Again, watch the why behind our goals, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's keep going. Number four, the action. This is faith in motion. It's your genuine involvement. It's being real. It's when you say what you mean and mean what you say. Did you guys finish that? Did somebody finish that before I could? Okay. Um, because faith breathes life into what you've seen or what you're inclined to do, your vision, your passion. Um, I want you to focus on that, you know, because inspired action doesn't come from pressure, but from your purpose. So what is it inside of you that uh that is calling you, okay? Because if you're feeling pressured in a opportunity that you're in today, a job, a line of work, and you're like, this just isn't this, then this is where you need to connect with your life coach and start to reassess your path. Okay, start to discover where this pressure, where this confusion, where this fog is rooted so that you can start moving forward in your action based on your purpose in life. Okay? Because you need to see every action as a spiritual step, as a move of trust as you navigate life. Okay, because we're all getting older, we're not getting younger, and so uh as you navigate life and you're taking steps, um, you're involved in who you are. So who you are, if you feel like you still haven't become or you're walking inside your purpose, okay, this is where you need your action. This is where your action. You need to really sit with it then a little bit longer. And what does action look like? Okay. Action is courageous choices to move even when you feel uncertain. I'm telling you, if wouldn't have been moving during the moments of my uncertainty, I wouldn't be here today. Okay? Courage isn't the absence of fear. Let me tell you that. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's faith that helps you walk through it. Okay? Spiritual steps. Pray, listen, act in faith. Okay? Every obedient step activates God's support in your life. I'm not kidding. Progress over perfection. That was one of my biggies. I was not giving myself grace. I was wanting to be an expert before, and not that I um, have been holding back fully because a lot of my earlier clients, a lot of the workshops that I did at the library truly helped me set the stage for those moments of failure because I'm in front of somebody and I've given so many workshops that it didn't particularly bother me doing or making mistakes in real life. Um, but when I'm recording something and I'm leaving it behind, then it really, the emphasis of being or having a more solid foundation was a huge game changer for me. And so, progress over perfection there for me um, was trying to be excellent in every way, and truthfully it just stalls. Your need for that perfection just stalls because I have grown so much. I now that I am uh finding greater ease in the workshops. I speak in virtual events. I'm invited to be the guest speaker. It's becoming more naturally. So I truly wish I would have started with the Facebook workshops a lot sooner. But hey, we're here. Life is great. And so as because I'll stay in a on a topic and digress and completely lose track. So before I do, I just want to circle back around to where we were at, talking about action here today. So again, what did I do? I did what I could with what I had where I am. So I want you to do that. I want you to do what you can with what you have where you are. Okay, and I want you to list one faith-based action and take it within 24 hours. Okay, having learned everything that we learned, all the four cores, and uh, where your journey is taking you, I want you to list one faith-based action step that you can take within 24 hours. Okay, so now that we've explored all those core elements, awareness, alignment, accountability, action, and truthfully put them in, structure them that way as you navigate life. And your steps are going to be more impactful. Okay, but let's take a step back and see what all of this really means in people's lives. Because when applied, these principles, they don't just sound good. Guys, I'm an accountant. I researched this. They work. Let's look at what real lives um, are saying about the power of coaching and what transformation it's brought to them. Okay, these percentages, numbers don't lie. Okay, 80 over 80% of people who receive life coaching support report improved self-confidence, clarity of purpose. That's huge. And don't leave me yet because we have some exercises that follow this. Okay. At least 70% they experienced better work-life balance and stronger relationships. Aren't these two where it's at for us? Aren't these two uh just at the center of what would improve our quality of life? I know they were for me. Okay. And they really support, even if you're already thriving in life, maybe it's just work goals. I don't know exactly what has you here today, but I want you to remember that these aren't just numbers. They represent stories and families and breakthroughs. Okay. And life isn't about changing who you are. It's about awakening what's already inside of you. So how do you take care of your mental health? Let's look at a couple of things that I hear that you can take a screenshot and take some notes. Rest. Unplug. Guys, it is so incredibly important. Your mental health matters. The wellness of how you take care of it is critical in achieving your goals. Otherwise, you're gonna adopt the rhino effect. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that. It was a it's when you pretty much identify your goal, and if you can picture a rhino, it puts its head down, and once it figures out what it's going to attack, then it puts its head down, it never looks up again, and it just um um charges, right? Okay, that's the rhino effect. And that's what I was doing in my career because I was so focused on making sure that I was going to be able to be the head of my household and support my family and have this great career that I was breaking through barriers and um, just thriving in my success, right? But you eventually hit a brick wall in that momentum. It's not good. It almost took my life. Okay, so please unplug. Rest is critically productive. It is very important. Next, self-love. Oh my goodness, I cannot emphasize this enough. Healing takes space, not shame. So please pour in massive amounts of grace into yourself. Okay? Brain dump. Your mind deserves the same care as your body. It really does. Okay? If you're keeping all of this junk stored up inside your head, please don't. I have a very unique and powerful brain dump exercise. If you're interested, you'll have all of the ways to connect with me. At the end of the workshop, write that down. Get brain dump exercise from Butterfly Bliss Coaching. Email me, I'll send it to you free of charge. Don't worry. I'm actually starting a resource library, so something to look forward to there, okay? But your mind, definitely, please decompress your mind. Do these exercises because they elevate the quality of your life. Because even if you just take it out of your head, at least you've begun to externalize. Right now, all you're doing is internalizing a lot of pain, a lot of grief, a lot of trauma, and writing it down. It takes longer to write things down. It really does, and it takes more energy. Okay. Um, again, before I digress, a faith refill. Make sure that you are pouring back into yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay. One of the greatest benefits of life coaching is that somebody actually pours into you. They teach you how to protect your peace, how to nurture your mental health. Okay. When was the last time you truly rested your mind and not just your body? And took time to do some of these things, because even God rested from his work. It's a divine mandate, y'all. Okay? Um, Make sure that you get real about that, because it it's a very personal area for me, mental health awareness, and I advocate on the heavy for it. Okay, so let's look at some of the what causes mental illness. Now, I want you to remember that these are not uh, mental illness stems. These Let me start over. Not every mental illness stems just from life experiences, okay? I understand that. Some of them are biological, neurological, um, like dementia, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. These are very complex medical conditions, okay, that require professional, psychiatric, and clinical care. I understand that. The conditions highlighted here, these are different. These represent the most common factors affecting overall well-being and the quality of life. Okay, these are the deepest roots behind mental strain. Trauma, unresolved trauma and grief, exhaustion, chronic stress and lack of rest, guilt, okay, when you disconnect from your faith and your purpose, rejection, isolating or toxic or being in toxic relationships, loneliness, when you suppress your emotions, okay, and you're not expressing truth to the people who come around you, okay. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a life coach who meets you where you are. Okay, together we discover, uncover, and navigate what's within your reach. Okay, so that if clinical support is necessary, psychiatric care, okay, then I help you feel safe. I help you feel informed. I help you discover and become aware of that. And I help you feel confident in finding the right care. Because knowing your why will help you stay involved on your healing journey. It truly will. Okay, because mental health impacts your choices, your quality of life, and it leads to poorness. Poorness in response to everything. It will just uh 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 suck life out of your life. It truly will. Okay, so let's take a look at this awareness pie chart. Okay, let's reconnect with awareness, because it's where it all begins. It's what starts when I was telling you we're gonna connect everything. Um, you need to start with awareness, because that's where your transformation can begin. It's the process where consistent effort and reflection will create a lasting change. Okay, because transformation is a structure, awareness is the blueprint. Okay, so which part of this chart might you see yourself living in? Okay, are you realizing things? Okay, because if you are, then here are your other components that you will need to now apply. Okay, so you're going to need to reframe, shifting how you think and interpret life. Okay, you need to own your growth journey, so in your responsibility and in your rebuilding, acting on your new awareness and staying consistent with it. Okay, so for example, the neutral example I gave earlier about lying, when you say, I don't lie, and then you turn around and you lie to somebody, regardless of how small it is. It's not necessarily the lie itself that I'm conveying here. It's just the actual act of. Okay. And so that's where I want where I was trying to reintroduce that, and your awareness is like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to lie anymore. Okay, so what do? You start to reframe. Why are you lying? How are you going to stop lying? What's your responsibility? Understand why can't I just tell the truth? Okay, but I'm not going to dig into that because again, I'll deviate away from the course material here. So, because transformation, that 5% seems low, but transformation is not found, it's built. Okay, it's built upon daily and found in reality. So that's the reason for that 5%, because 5% happens in the moments of action. And then awareness ignites, and then direction sets the growth of your motion. Okay? So let's keep going. I put together this practical exercise for you on try this. If you're feeling this, try this. Okay, these are some shifting techniques that uh, they're not huge solutions, but they're simple shifts that help bring peace back in. Okay, so if you're feeling overwhelmed, pause, deep, breathly 3 times. I'm not kidding. Don't downplay it. It makes a difference. It improves your response on the heavy. Oxygen to the brain clears the mind, clears the action that you don't want to regret. Okay, if you're feeling lost, journal what feels unclear and pray for clarity. Honestly, writing does take energy. Just start to write something and you'll know right away. And it gives life to the things that are inside your being, inside your mind, inside your heart, inside your soul, your spirit. It speaks, again, it's energy on paper. Okay, your prayer aligns you with your purpose. And who knows your purpose better than the one that created you? Created your brain, your heart, right? Okay. If you're feeling anxious, move your body, do a shoulder roll, um, do a little stretch, dance, because movement connects you to your ability. It's and your ability, remember, is a reflection. It reflects inside your accountability. Okay, so when you feel anxious, it's probably because you're not doing something you should be, or you're anticipating consequences. Okay, sometimes you feel anxious because your accountability went out the window and you're slacking. Okay, if you feel disconnected, call someone uplifting, go for a walk, go to a library, go to a park. Okay, go to any free open opportunities virtually. Those are amazing. I am hopeful of starting some of those on my own. Um, so be on the lookout. If you're feeling hopeless, speak gratitude aloud for 3 things. A hot shower, your favorite drink. For me, I love to drink Pepsi. Speak gratitude for 3 things that you give God thanks for. Fresh air, apples. I'm an apples junkie, and some there I truly have my moments where I'm like just lost in the moment. So all of a sudden I'll just start looking around the house and I'm like, I'm thankful for my plants, I'm thankful for the carpet, I'm thankful for the heater, and then it's all of a sudden it's a hot day, so then I'm thankful for the air conditioner because this is kind of like the season that we're in here in Aurora, Colorado. Okay, so anyway, let's so I just want you to try some of these. The other thing is this is how we bring life coaching into this opportunity. Because when you go to schedule an appointment, just knowing that help is on the way really helps. It really does. Okay, um, let's take a look at this slide. Practical awareness exercises. So identify triggers and symptoms that you feel. behaviors during the situation and alternative behaviors. Okay, being true with God because He can only heal what we're willing to reveal, not only with Him but to ourselves. Okay, so what's one thing that you can align with this week? Think about that for a second. Not perfectly, just intentionally. What's one thing you can align this week that will help improve the quality of your life? What feels off in your life right now? What one aligned step could you take this week? Okay, because this is an opportunity for a self check as well. Okay, so let's shift here into the emotional first aid checklist. Okay, so here these are I refer to them as the 5 rounds. Recognize, release, reflect, reframe, restore. Okay, so that because on the onset, you are probably looking through an emotional lens. You have not your beer goggles, but your emotional goggles on. Okay, so how do you respond to those? Recognize, notice what's happening, especially emotionally. Release, okay? Go through prayer, breathe, cry. Your tears are so beneficial in helping you relieve stress. So please use them. I encourage you to. They are very relieving, okay? Reflect. What is this teaching me? Reframe. Replace your pain with perspective and restore. Reset yourself with gratitude and truth, okay? When we pause before we act, we allow grace to enter our emotions, and that's huge because you walk away feeling better. Okay, you truly will. And let me just give you a quick example here. When my dogs were going crazy in the backyard the other day, okay, how did I get involved? This 5 rounds of first aid is kind of like the streamlined approach of ache. Okay, so I actually used the ache opportunity with my dogs going crazy in the backyard, and my awareness was what? The dogs are going crazy. All of a sudden, I hear this going, like they're about to break through the fence. So my involvement, I said, okay, and now I know I have to get involved because something ridiculous is playing out in the backyard. So I go out there. Um, what do I need next? My knowledge. Okay, so what do I need to know about the situation? So I looked around. Was the other dog's owner available? Okay, could my dogs get through the fence? I mean, I had to really respond quickly. So all of this moves rapidly inside your head. And so, by aching inside that moment by using these responses to recognize, release, reflect, reframe, restore, I said, okay, well, I immediately stopped instead of just grabbing a stick and throwing rocks at the dog, which, is probably the most immediate thing you're going to do because you're angry. Maybe if you got interrupted, depending on the mindset or the energy that derived from it, your response could have taken a different pathway. But if you stop first, check in with awareness, it is a huge game changer for the result. Okay, because then I went and I actually just got involved with the dogs. I got up close to them. I petted Boss, the big dog, petted the little dog, tried to shush the dog on the other side, and just invited my dogs back into the house. And I just gained control of the situation so much more effectively than if I'd have just ran out there, started throwing things and rocks at them, started telling them I'm gonna take them to the pound, I don't know. So it just make sure that you that you utilize these rounds and the ache opportunity to take you deeper into your awareness because it reshapes your response. And a lot of times we always walk away with, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have said that, or I wish I wouldn't have done that, right? Um, so as we're nearing the end of the workshop here, I just want to leave you with this quote that every door closed, and I want to pause right there and say, even if it's failures, um, you can't lose what you've learned. Okay, it's yours. They become transferable skills. So I'm not sure what your closed doors might look like, what you might be navigating, but I want you to remember that inside every no or inside every opportunity that doesn't feel right, um, that it is still part of the pathway to your purpose. It's like being in a hallway so that each knock, each step, each prayer leaves a footprint of your faith. Okay, it's a footprint of your maturity. Okay, so I want to invite you now to take a look at my A Journey aligned life coaching programs. Uh, Screenshot this, or if you access the QR code, um, visit our website, learn more about those coaching programs. Before you go, I do invite you to download my virtual business card. Um, Click on the butterfly QR code there on your screen. You can also visit the Butterfly Bliss Coaching website and download our app. This is one of my actions where I didn't allow perfection to override my progress because it's still a work in progress. The onboarding feature works perfect. It is like a virtual assistant for me because I have it so heavily automated that it just streamlines a lot of my own personal work. And so it is a work in progress, but again, I'll be putting some resources out there for you to refer to. So thank you, a million thank yous. From my heart to you all for watching this workshop. Get excited. There are several more to follow. Um, Thank you. Gracias. Until next time, my friends. God bless your day in every single way. Please keep the faith and never give up. Remember that life happens for you, not to you. Okay? Um, and I'm happy to share and bring to the awareness that very fact that life, all of your experiences that you're navigating are helping you become who you are meant to be. So don't feel like life's happening to you. It's happening for you. Okay, so God bless you. Thank you so much for watching this workshop by Butterfly Bliss Coaching. Visit our website, www.butterflyblisscoaching.com. Okay, sometimes I teach Spanish occasionally, and so that's the translation still existing inside my head. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Talk to you next time. Bye.